Let's be honest, most of us don't want to retire. We just want to quit doing the parts of our life that suck. The emails, the commutes, the $7 lattes that taste like regret. What we actually want is part time freedom, an escape and reset from the drudgery of everyday routine. A life where winter is optional, stress is optional, and the word meeting is something you do at a cafe and not on a Zoom link. So today I'm going to walk you through 3 blueprints for part-time retirement in Vietnam. Whether you're snowbirding for the winter season, splitting time between somewhere like Thailand and Vietnam, or going full slow travel nomad and just making this part of the itinerary. These aren't fantasies, they're budget-tested, visa-approved lifestyles that people are already doing. So let's jump right into model number 1, which I call the Snowbird or part-timer, the classic Canadian in Florida. Quick note before we start, this video is made in partnership with Safety Wing, the travel medical insurance built for people like us, expats, digital nomads, and long-term travelers who don't have a real home doctor anymore. Nomad Insurance Complete covers you worldwide with no deductibles, no network hoops, and you can keep it for life if you sign up now before you turn 65. I'll tell you more about it halfway through the video, but if you want to check it out now, the link's in the description and there's a QR code here on screen. Using it also helps support the channel at no extra cost to you. All right, let's dig into this idea of snowbirding in Vietnam. So the easiest way to test drive a life abroad is the snowbird model. And here's how it works. You basically just spend 3 to 6 months in Vietnam during the North American winter, say October through March, then you head back home for summer, family time, and healthcare checkups. Visa-wise, Vietnam now offers a 90-day e-visa for Americans and Canadians. There's single or multiple entry for 25 or 50 US dollars. You can apply online, print it out, and you're done. It literally takes 5 minutes to do, and you get it within a couple business days. If you want 6 months, just pop over to Bangkok, Malaysia, or Singapore for a weekend and renew your e-visa online for another 90 days. So what does it cost to live like this? Obviously a huge question. An apartment by the beach in Da Nang, where I am now, or Nha Trang, another beach city here, it's about $300 to $600. 3 meals a day, coffee and an afternoon drink for, I'd say, $15 to $20 a day, or $450 to $600 a month. And unless you're a lush or hitting a bar at 8 a.m., it's pretty easy to live like this. Utilities and phone are very affordable here, maybe $50 a month, $100 if you're cranking the AC all the time. A motorbike rental is only going to be $40 or $50, and you can also just get grab taxi rides for about $1, depending on how far you're going. Health insurance by Safety Wing Nomad Travel Insurance can be had for $56 a month. Flights round trip from LA, Toronto, or Sydney are roughly $900 to $1,100. That's a total of roughly $1,200 to $1,400 a month once you're on the ground. Less than half the price I'd pay of staying at home and twice the vitamin D, right? You'll love it if you're still anchored at home, if you have family, property, kids, whatever, but you're tired of shoveling snow and need an escape. This is also, by the way, what my parents have done. They've spent the last 3 winters here in Da Nang visiting their grandkids, hanging out with me, and just generally relaxing and enjoying life. They do it on a single 3-month entry visa, and then they go back to Canada after the worst months of cold. Who won't like this? Well, you'll hate it if you need Western convenience every second, or if bureaucracy makes you break out in hives. Think of this as phase 1 of your retirement. Test mode. You keep your base back home, but you start by buying time instead of stuff. You start planning and scouting for long-term stay somewhere, or you just say, fuck it, I'm done with winter. So, I've shoveled enough snow for a lifetime, and if you track your numbers, you'll see how fast you can say your savings can compound. Even just 6 months abroad at $1,400 a month instead of $3,000 a month at home, that's going to save you almost $10,000 or $9,600 per year. Over a decade invested at 8%, that's another $140,000 in future freedom in your retirement fund. In other words, it's often literally going to save you money through cost of living abroad by doing this snowbird model. Next model. This is what I call the Thailand-Vietnam seasonal split. You can also do this in other spots. But let's talk about the smart and slow travel cheat code. So when you do this sort of back-forth split, You could also replace Thailand with Cambodia, the Philippines, or maybe somewhere like Georgetown, Malaysia on Penang Island if it was up to me. This is for the spreadsheet types who track humidity and 180-day tax law residency limits in the same column. Here's the rhythm. You spend November to March in Thailand, maybe Chiang Mai if you like mountains and cafe, or Jomtien if you want beaches and expats. Then, when Thailand's burn season turns the air into campfire soup, you hop over to Da Nang or Hoi An for April to October. You skip Thailand's smoke and monsoon, and you skip central Vietnam's rainiest windows. Year-round sunshine, alternating cuisines, and 2 apartments that both cost less than 1 back home. You could also do this in-country by splitting time between somewhere like Da Nang up here and an island in the south like Phu Quoc when Da Nang gets rainy. The opposite rainy seasons here literally make this perfect. So if you play your cards right, you're looking at 365 days a year of great weather and super affordable retirement. Visa logistics are easy now if you use this method. Thailand's 60-day tourist visa can extend to 90. Vietnam gives you 90 days right away. And if you keep your stays under 180 days per year in each country, you avoid triggering tax residency or getting into any hairy accountancy or residency paperwork. Let's break down the cost numbers. Chiang Mai, say you're going to do 6 months there. An apartment's going to be about $400. Food and coffee, I would say, is closer to $25 or $30 a day, so $750 to $900 range. Transport, $60, $2 a day. Health insurance, again, under $60 with safety wing. Total here is going to be about $1,400, $1,450 a month. In Da Nang for 6 months, apartment's going to be a little bit more affordable. I'd say you can still get a nice single unit for $360 a month, $12 a day, very realistic. Food and coffee, again, $15 or $20 a day, so in that $450 to $600 range. Transport, same, couple dollars a day max, and the insurance with safety wing, again, $56. So your total a month in Da Nang can really realistically be in that $1,000 to $1,200 a month range. Add $500 for regional flights because you will have to travel to keep this method successful. You're going to go Da Nang, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, or maybe you're going to go Da Nang, Saigon, Phuket. It's up to you, really. And that's an annual budget of roughly $15,000 to $16,000 US dollars a year for 12 months of warm weather, pad thai, pho, and iced tea and coffee on a rotation. If you plan to live off of $1,500 a month or $18,000, you can comfortably rotate around Southeast Asia, enjoying great food, weather, travel, and culture for literally as long as your heart's desire. If you retired in Florida at home, you'd pay that much in HOA fees alone. If I was back in Canada, this would barely cover the cost of my car. You'll love this cyclical style of active retirement if you want pace and variety without the hassle of always being somewhere new and foreign. Split time between familiar faces and cities, and you'll get to renew and rejuvenate with different crowds in different places each time you land. You'll hate it though if packing gives you a panic attack and if you need a stable medical home base or have mobility issues. But for digital nomads, early retirees, or couples who want the best of both worlds, this is the geo arbitrage sweet spot in Southeast Asia. You can live better, longer, and legally without paying taxes twice. Let's talk for a minute now about why I actually use Safety Wing. If you're actually thinking about spending 6 months a year in Vietnam or Thailand or any of the other spots I mentioned in this video, you are going to need to figure out a boring but crucial aspect, and that's your health coverage. I use Safety Wing's Nomad Insurance Complete. It's a travel medical insurance designed for long-term travelers and expats like myself and you, and it's solid for all of my needs, right? It has global coverage, whether I'm in Da Nang, Bangkok, or Malaysia, or even visiting family. There's no deductibles or network restrictions, so you can see any private clinic or hospital. You can get reimbursed fast, and you can basically just move on with your life. Pricing is simple, based only on your age group, so your premium doesn't jump just because you make a claim. What I like is that it works the same way my life does. It's flexible, it's borderless, and it's hassle-free. It's not travel insurance for a 2-week holiday, it's travel medical insurance built for people who actually live abroad, even when you want to maintain location independence and freedom of movement. So if you're getting serious about part-time retirement or long-term nomadic travel and vagabonding, scan the QR code on the screen or use the link below. It helps support the channel at no extra cost to you, and honestly, it's one of those rare grown-up moves that keeps this dream alive. Now let's get back to the fun part, the retiring early abroad, and how simple and affordable it can make buying back your freedom and your time. The next model here is the slow travel or the vagabond method made famous by Rolf Potts. This is for the romantic minimalist, the ones who've read Vagabonding and said, That is the dream. That's the life for me on the road, like Jack Kerouac. The idea is simple. You don't retire in any one place for too long. You collect passport stamps, live minimalist out of your luggage, and retire everywhere. The world is your oyster. Sell or rent out your house, slim your possessions down to one suitcase, and drift between Southeast Asian countries on tourist visas. Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, the Philippines, maybe a winter in Bali. Stay long enough to learn a few words, make a few friends, and then find your next flight deal. Divorcees, singles, and widowers tend to love this, but there are couples who can do this lifestyle in their golden age as well. One of my favorite YouTubers in this space lives this exact lifestyle. His name's Wayne. He's from Australia. His channel's Fiasco de Gama, and I'll link that for you as well. Check him out and subscribe to his channel to really get the feel of what it's like to travel full-time with nothing but your freedom and your boots on the ground. Your typical year might look like this. January to April in Da Nang for $1,000 a month, May to July in Penang for $1,200 a month, August, October in Chiang Mai, again in that $1,200, $1,500 a month range, and then wrap it up with November to December in Siem Reap, Cambodia, living on $800 to $1,000 a month. Easily you're getting into that $12,000 to $15,000 a year range with around $1,000 a month average spend, plus your travel costs of another $5,000 to $6,000 per year. And these can really add up fast if you've got itchy feet. Speaking of great YouTube channels, check out my fellow Canadian and Buffalo Bills fan, Itchy Feet, for a great look at real expat life in Cambodia. For healthcare, walk-in private clinics often only charge $25 to $50 a visit here. Teeth cleaning can cost $10 in Vietnam, maybe double that in Malaysia or Bangkok. If you need surgery, you can always fly to Bangkok or Kuala Lumpur for a fraction of US hospital prices. You'll love this life if you crave change, simplicity, and a news story every few months. The social butterflies do well in this as well. You'll hate it if you get anxious without a mailing address or if visa runs exhaust you. It's not about being homeless, it's about being limitless. As Rolf Potts famously wrote, vagabonding is about gaining the courage to loosen your grip on the so-called certainties of the world. And you don't have to be 20 years old to do it. You just have to be free. So how do these three models actually stack up when we run the math? The Snowbird model, 6 months in Vietnam, 6 months at home, with your average monthly costs around $1,400 a month, plus your costs back home. I'd say your annual spend is going to be roughly $25K abroad and whatever it is at home. So how do these three models actually stack up when we run the math? The Snowbird model, 6 months in Vietnam, 6 months at home, is really going to be reflected by what you're spending at home. So say you spend $5,000 a month at home, you're going to spend $30,000 in your time at home, and then in your time abroad, you're going to half that down to about $15,000, and maybe you can survive on $45,000 a year. Thailand, Vietnam, full split. 12 months abroad, you're going to do mid-range comfort here. I'd say your total annual spend is going to be in that $15,000 to $20,000 range. Add in 2 flights back and forth, and maybe you're looking at $25,000. That's 1/3 of what I would pay for the cost of living, or 1/4 of what I'd pay for the cost of living in Toronto. And if you go over the full vagabond model, slow travel, minimum gear, constant motion, this is going to be probably the most affordable. The highest costs here are really just going to be your transportation. It's going to be your flights, your visas, getting around. I think when you do this model, it's quite easy for most people to get by on about $1,000 a month, because people attend serviced apartments and these short-term, mid-term rentals, which are often very affordable. And if you do this right, you're going to find that you can save anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000 to even $75,000 a year in cost of living. And that's going to fund another 2 decades to 30 years of your travel. I track this all in a Notion retirement planner, and you can literally just watch these numbers stack up and buy your life, bro. Okay, so let's talk about the lifestyle considerations. Snowbirding gives you stability, a home base, family proximity, access to Western doctors, and a clean seasonal rhythm. The Thailand-Vietnam split gives you variety and perfect weather, but you need to stay organized with flights, visas, and rent deposits. The vagabond life gives you freedom, but at the cost of roots. You'll trade stability for storylines. There's no right answer here. It's just what you prefer. These aren't hierarchies, they're just stages. Start with 6 months, graduate to 12, and if you catch the travel bug, go full Rolf Potts. Whatever you pick, the key is systems. Track your spending weekly, automate your insurance, keep a simple emergency fund of 3 to 5K for flights or family surprises. boring structure can often equal freedom. So that's the blueprint, the 3 ways to live part-time, full heart abroad. The Snowbird model if you want to keep your roots but skip your winters. The Thailand-Vietnam split if you want to perfect seasons and tax-free travel. And the slow travel vagabond if you want to write the next chapter of your life in passport stamps instead of pay stubs. You don't need millions, you just need a sense of adventure and an open mindset and a map. And if you want help with your first 90 to 180 days in Vietnam, check out the link for my Move to Vietnam Masterclass in 60 minutes. It shows you your exact monthly cost, break-even points, and how to set up banking, visa, housing, and healthcare. And remember, to get travel medical insurance now, you can use this QR code or the link in the video description and comments below and sign up for Safety Wing Nomad Complete Insurance, their first and best travel. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments and questions below. I'm Evan A, and you can watch this video on what to do in Hanoi next, or this one on how to start over in Vietnam with $10,000.